Welcome to the Royale Express podcast, a place of music, travel, and the expansion of knowledge.
My name is Sizwe Lande, and I'm a cyclist. I'm a social cyclist. I consider myself as a bicycle entrepreneur.
What is a social cyclist?
Social cyclist means I cycle for a good cause. We unite cyclists within the Inc., which is Inanda, Ntuzuma and KwaMashu. We also try to use bicycle within the Inc. We're using bicycle initiative currently within the Inc. to unite cyclists and also ride for a good cause together as cyclists.
What are some of the achievements you've had so far?
We had our first event on the 16th of December, which was a gender-based violence awareness, and then we had like the second event on the 16th of June. But between the space of 16th June and 16th December 2020, we've managed to have a Sunday rides which happening every Sunday. With them there's survival of the fittest. The main aim with survival of the fittest rides was to recruit as many young people as possible to participate in cycling, introduce them in a healthy living lifestyle, and also taking young people away from the streets, give them something to do. So cycling was the only thing we could use.
Sizwe, about Sizwe.
Sizwe. I was born here in KwaZulu, a polyclinic, right? And then grew up here, and then as a stage I went to Joburg, where I studied and started working in Joburg. I worked as a social auxiliary worker. I also worked as a peer educator. I worked as a community caregiver, and then I came back here in KwaZulu 2018. So okay, I left the job because basically challenge one. As I was working as a social auxiliary worker, when you are employed, obviously like you work by the book. And then if you deal with the community, okay, but because it's and then you was even if you want to rise because it's so it wasn't challenging for me. And I felt I can do something else apart from little and be not guided by certain constitution so being the employed con.
You big frustrated by the constitution and all these restrictions. Why are you frustrated?
So example, as I've been coming we do awareness, right? Let's say like you say that okay, my track awareness, right? You find we have young people who are more involved in tracks, and then we have organizations at Dila Nabantu Abash who are involved in tracks, and then it's a system of which is not checked if it's working to help Abantu Abasha no maka. Because we are getting a rehab, and then organization of us is estimating to make certain money more than just helping umuntu okumele ukuthi asizakale. If you are to enroll beneficiaries, we organization, the organization to be funded needs a minimum of 150 to 300 beneficiaries. And then say as organization my solar beneficiaries are angago and then ease of fund. So now organization says shifts the stress from helping beneficiaries to what can we do to be funded. So now the vision now has changed from helping abantu. Yeah, so Nakona, if like you are, if I remember at some point we had to do reports based on behavioral change. So bazogeza guidelines when the reports kanjena, you need to state 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But then little reports we want okay. There are a lot of things that's essential, but there's being mentioned anywhere because based on the templates abangeze yona, iya restricts ukuthi you should write kanjena igcine lana ihambe kanje. So boys is sometimes you can't go you ngayenza into unothando lwayo, but then based on guidelines you end up not fulfilling the purpose. I wanna study as in connecting wenza loop ushintsho.
So without Fagama's, we like to not to dictate what you're saying, but just to understand what you're saying. Uguthi shuthi wena you had a purpose, a bigger purpose.
Yes.
And lo mshini obusebenza ngawo to fulfill your purpose, it wasn't working well.
It wasn't working. it wasn't working. What I decided against ukuthi I'll have to establish an organization whereby I can engage with like young people on their level, understanding them, and also making sure ukuthi the vision I have is not being diluted. If my aim is to, let's say, if if you have like a certain vision, and then you now go for help, and then but we cannot help you. We cannot help you unless you do 1, 2, 3, or unless you put in 1, 2, 3. Now your vision is being diluted. Even if you are a success, but when as a person who came up with that thing, I'm also like now your satisfaction, because now your vision has been diluted. So with Itode Inc., with Itode Inc., apart from anything, was to educate abantu abasha ukuthi if I can cycle, if I can be able to balance my bicycle going forward, and then you can also be able to balance your life going forward. It's not like if you get on a bike, on your bicycle, it's more of taking ownership of your life. If I can pedal and be able to balance going forward, then I can be able to live my life and live it balanced going forward. So that's the message we're trying to teach using a bicycle. Why bicycle? Bicycle because we're dealing with the young people, and a bicycle, of course, like ama bicycle, and also even a look sheet more ama bicycle. So they kind of feel like into yabelungu ama bicycle. So we're also trying to bring ama bicycle a look sheet. If umlungu can ride a bicycle, now you can ride a bicycle. Axiona into yomlungu into now leo or ongayenza. And by the way, the reason why I ended up like choosing ama bicycle, when I was in Joburg, there was some I used to cycle from Soweto to Unisa in town. So the Saturday as I was cycling on my way back, the second time manje, then bicycle then I'm under the bridge. So there was like guys behind. So as a bicycle being pushed, the guys came to me, and I was so scared. It's like put bicycle level. So I'm saying to about laptop like bikini into the school, and I'm saying and then excuse me. So my incident later, I'm just my figure ask me to know. I figure bang sees a wooden bicycle, like those guys about like preaching. That bang sees a bicycle, salungisa. Then from Lapo, bang tetelanga hamp. So I was like, as much as abantu bahlangana isizo khuluma ngabo ukusikwenzala ini badla ama drugs nani basi ubuntu obubona bukhona. So I then started ukuba ne-interest to know more about bona. As much as I'm on a bicycle, I'm always on a bike, but I don't know how to fix a bicycle.
Okay.
So I always have someone to fix bicycle for me. So I don't know how to fix. So bang sister, and then I was able to ride. And then I used to sing bells, I can change and price and then bandits a lap and then I saw a hump. And then from Lapo I started like, and then during the day ngaya corner same bridge now. Just to cause when it's like abang atekanga at night. So it means basung atekanjan. So I then started like to kulmanabo just to find it was like why by it papa some kwaqini and all that. Officially it was risky. Most people doing just negala into inside news email wara either bazukuphuka or bazukulimaza in. So I got to talk nabo nga one ngaso okay, as much as bala phana singa generalize ukuswenzakala ini kunama reasons why ba end up lapha mawubheka bakutshela ama stories abo from ekhaya nani abanye mhlawumbe like not getting along with like ama step parents kanjani zonke into kanjalo. Okay, angikho la. And then mase kuthi, so what I started to do lapho as to say thank you to laba babangisizayo. I did like a first initiative there whereby I ngadaza khona ama blankets hundreds for abantu bebehlala emgwaqweni. I had a spa on board. I had what is this radio station Highfeld on board. Then we managed like to like low. So as I was doing that layer, I was getting like a lot of support. So I was like, okay, how about I take this back home? Being as a HO back, but it was getting because I'm running like Biba more interested, but Biba more diluted now to monetary goes like how can we make money out of it? So I was like, okay, now as much as lento inzoyenza izokwenzakala, if ngiqhubekile definitely bizongenzela imali. But I was like, okay, now it's getting to another lane, not the one in because I was doing it because we collected my blankets, I handrest, and then I invited like other cyclists, which is could see cycle to distribute my blankets now, and then we did that successfully. Masengenza like second okay ngenza like next one, but mase sengenza enye landelayo because there were second abantu involved as ama churches nani. I was like, okay, and then I had to cut the ties. Not because I'm against churches. I'm not against churches. I'm a believer, but then it wasn't serving the purpose. But why are you helping umqaqeni ngabuqala esontweni? And the main vision was to help umqaqeni. So now being here with Throw the Ink, doing bicycle, now my question was, what can we do to avoid inamba yabantu abahlala emgwaqeni abazokhula? So if you can have ama programs for abantu abancane la sesikhula nabo, but because more involved with sports over discipline. So if you know if you're success, like we have area success, so you know it's like most race, you know like you need to prepare yourself. You always have someone opambo wako say ubanu yangshiya, last time wangshiya, so now I need to do better than that person. So automatically that changes your lifestyle. Whereas okay, eshongshiyela that ngoba like bengathi ngiphuzile ngayizolo, that's why angishiyile. So you know as much imagine that angimelanga ngiphuze, yabo. So kancane uyathola okay umuntu okay wayakushiya mase umuntu akutshela i-diet yakhe isini mina ngidla amabhoyiliwe amaqanda arona uyabona oh okay, and then so you end up coping lonto leyo, and it's more like we share and then we all win.
What are the changes that you've seen in the people that you've worked with? Bona labantu abasha usebenza nabo. Okay,
into eyenzakalile ne we disturbed by COVID. The process yasohlanga. We disturbed by COVID because we had like abantwana by 72 ohlanga who volunteered. And we were of course running short of bicycles, so we were working on getting like more bicycles, and the school was also helping us. But then due to COVID, and then the project like was put on hold. So then we then science like lessons I go like the Sunday rides like esiwa inside one level we've been busy with. Now we'll also love to have a Tour de Ink as an event, as we have like Tour de France. But now bring it in our township, have like it's all the ink, which like we say like once a year or twice a year we have this like in Joburg have like amashova things like once a year. But now if you can have like it's all the ink within a malukshini, then now that's the plan.
The guys that you met at Joburg that helped you with the bicycle.
Yes.
Are you still in contact with them now? Do you know?
I'm not. The reason being, of course, like they stay on the streets, they don't have phones and all that.
Okay, but you don't go back to like see where they are.
Well, if I go to Joburg, I do have even like here, I do have friends who stay on the streets even in town.
Okay.
I do have, because I always have I always make a conversation now, just to get to know them, so wherever I go, I always make conversation and make friends. Because in months this other day I was in town and asking me and what months I like dropping back put the phone I know exactly who's bawa saguphi. So it
nice friend to have.
So maga I remember at some point I was working for Sanlam, and then and then my with my colleagues, and then the guy that came to me, hey Sizwe, I'm not going to now and I baby bahlehla kanje yabo ngasala ngikwa. So masihambile abathi you abangani bakho yabo, because the way bababona ngakhona ukuthi dude like abangani bakho yabo. I'm like yeah. So now it's ngiyachaza ukuthi how we became friends. I'm just like yeah my friends, so that's it. The only thing I don't give them money, but if I have money, I always buy them something to eat. That's why we became close. They know I don't give them money, but I buy them something to eat, go at Park Clap's workshop, and then we eat together, and then we have someone who do but then
Yeah, you don't only give ukudla and then bese uyahamba you spend time with them.
Yes, talk now, because I know even like ama stories wabo. I know even ama stories wabo. Enye into abona khona lo usipho yena into angishoyo washo into eba painful mina wathi yena okay started ukwenza ama okay we were from a kind of early rights situation khona yabo, and then waba influencer gcina iseka 17 days setshenziswayo, and then from lapho into yenzakalayo waya rehab, and then from rehab wabila back ekhaya. Kodwa ekhaya whenever kunento elahlekile bese usipho, whenever kunento wrong usipho, whenever in usipho, whenever in as moskuyafana yabo. As much as I try to change and thinking was like they're helping me to change, and now sengichange, but still kubona akakasuki ukuthi ngeke ngasenza ama drugs, akasuki ukuthi bengidayisa amaketelo, akasuki ukuthi bengidayisa in yabo. So it is kanjalo ezenza ukuthi we have a number yabantu basemgwaqeni, because nathi emakhaya we don't accept ukuthi abantu sebeshintshile. Yo,
what do you feel that you need right now ukuthi umsebenzi owenzayo to reach the next level? Yes, we have the challenges of COVID, yes, and restrictions and pandemic. Is there anything that you've identified that you feel that you would need to take a greater stride in what you do?
Definitely. First thing we need bicycles, and we need like a bike park. We don't have a bike park in Inanda. We don't have a bike park in Inanda. If you need a bike park, because in Clara Estopes, if you need a bike park, like last week, so like we like some from Facebook when I'm posting things post that about two abafunda bicycle ngisematiwe kanje ngingenze njani. I had to refer either la enzansi or ngimrefer KwaMashu umuntu lo osematiwe lo. So if we can have like a massive park, each and every area have a massive park, like kungaba easy lapho uyazi abantwana ungasaba abantwana. I-safe park serves as a drop-in center whereby umntana uyabuya esikoleni uyashintsha uyahamba uyodlala uyazi ukuthi it's safe, bayadlala amabhayisikili lapho, and abantwana kuleyo ndawo leyo bayakwazi ukuthi babe abantwana, because abantwana ukuthi bakhule you need to allow them ukuthi babe abantwana. So if abantwana uzothi into enzeke lokishini umntwana ngo-6 AM umntwana usemgwaqeni awazazi ukuthi wenzani yabo. So lapho umntwana ukwi-risk ya yonke into, not only ama-drugs, even trafficking, zonke izinto ezi-available lapho. Unombani uyafika umntwana umthuma ugwayi, mawuthuma umntwana ugwayi amncane angabheki umntwana uzolokhu aqala lokho ayolokhu efuna ukuzwa into yenza lokho awusanje engawushisanga yabo. Le nto iyakhula kuyena. Next thing uzothola avela ulayisi angathi lokho alokho yenza kanje, seqala umntwana useyabhema 12, 13, 14, 15 bayabhema yonke into nani. So if we can have izindawo zabantwana ezi user friendly for abantwana ukuthi bakwazi ukudlala bayabantwana bakwazi ukukhula, that's what we need. If you can have a bike park, have bicycles, then right now I was speaking to a place where expected with I wanted to do on my birthday 24 November I wanted to do 5 days, 5 towns in 5 days, right, and raising a bicycle, because I'm a company to develop some bicycle habits, most specific by donate. So if at least I can have abantu abazong assist to make that ride possible, would say I do 5 towns in 5 days ride. Maybe let's say if in Sualana to Eshowe, Nyas was like 5 days. From Eshowe to Mpangeni, it's another maybe like 5 bicycles. Like whenever I reach a township, Nyas it was like 5 bicycles. Mungingabuyela lapho with like 20 bicycles, and then we can have something to work on. You don't have to give us money and all that, just like resources. That's what we need.
And from here, where can we find you if people want to find out more about you, what you do, where you are, to come and participate? Okay.
Ngihlala stop 8 ukuhlala, but then stop 8 in Nanda, not far from Mjepeni. Not far from Mjepeni. Also from Ohlange Inc. Tourism Office, you go up, and then you pass stop 8, and then after stop 8, then Mjepe before you get here.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I'm available on WhatsApp, Facebook, Insta. My WhatsApp number is always 17462192. And then on Facebook, you can follow Tode Inc. That's our Facebook page. Instagram, Tode Inc. Yeah.
Any other partnerships that we can know about? If we happen to find ourselves on this page or on this website, we will also see you.
Okay. Before I mention this, last year I had a privilege of being part of Expected Youth, and Tode Inc. was actually born after that program, because I was part of Expected Youth. That's where I learned a lot in terms of expressing myself and also breaking boundaries. Because as we live, I realized that there are so many boundaries that are stopping us from moving from one place to another, and those boundaries actually need us to break them by standing firm in your vision or whatever you believe in, and don't live in abantu bazothina syndrome. Because if you do that, people will tell you ukuthi bicycle into and then you now scared to implement any bicycle process. My family is against this. Is against into bicycle. I was also involved in a car accident on 24th April. So there is something so my family they don't allow me to ride bicycle. So for me to ride bicycle, I have to push somewhere and then walk as if like I'm going for a jog, as a bicycle and ride. So now it's kind of life I'm living. So to answer your question, I'm a partner now. So far, we partnered with Expected Youth. The one in Select, like I was part of project last year, Life Lesson Project. It's Expected Youth, and we also work closely with Ntuzuma Sports. Yeah, those are two official partners we have currently. Well, I cannot mention the ones who give us products because like it's not official. But yeah, we do have Red Bull to give us energy drinks and stuff whenever we have an event, but it's nothing official.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Any closing remarks or words of inspiration or sort of a word of outreach to anyone listening and watching to be like, this is what you'd like to say in closing today? Okay, I as Sizwe, you just need to be yourself more than anything. You just need to be yourself and do what you believe in, and always be open to learning new things. We have these things because we grow up and then things are meant to be like that. You know, you need to know, as much as we grow up but there's always new ways as we grow. Be able to change.
This is the Royale Express podcast. Make sure to subscribe, follow, and like. Thank you for joining me.